For more on this, we're joined by the CEO of Pan-African Capital Holdings, Dr. Iraj Abedian. Iraj, thanks so much for your time today. What do you make of the AG's decision?
I think it's a well-considered decision. We have to protect the integrity and reliability of the Office of Auditor General in the light of all the other clouds hanging around state-owned enterprises, corruption, and all of that.
Yeah.
We need to make sure that there is an unquestioned ethical operations of audit office. So I'm very glad that they have made this decision.
And why is trust so important to the audit function?
Because the whole assurance is about giving you and me and any other external reader, external shareholder, external stakeholder that what is being presented is reliable.
Yeah.
Really, trust is the pivot of giving audit or assurance profession meaning. Otherwise, we don't need them.
Now, what do you make of the way that all the different audit firms that have been implicated in one way or another in different scandals have dealt with these issues? Because from the outside, from us looking from the outside, we're seeing them dealing with individuals rather than treating this as a systemic issue within the organization.
That's the hub of the issue. The audit profession, not just in South Africa, globally, it has a systemic problem at 3 levels. One is these companies are formed as partnership, which means they don't have external non-executive directors, although they recently they've appointed one, but they do not comply with good codes of corporate governance. That's a major issue. So partners check on partners, and it's a partnership.
Yeah.
They don't have a balance sheet. At the end of the year, they divvy up all the profit and off they go, and tomorrow and next year is another year.
Yeah.
In the meantime, they can cause 900 million rand damage. Nobody can pay for it. So that's one issue. The second systemic problem that they have is the fact that they are not just audit companies. In fact, a study done by UK Financial Authority shows that all the audit companies make more money from their non-audit services, tax advisory, corporate advisory, and there's a whole growing list of them. They make more money from that than from audit. So they call themselves audit companies, but in fact they're not. So they just cross-sell. On the one hand, they come and advise you how to do it. On the other hand, somebody comes and that's the best way to do it.
Yeah.
And there is a built-in conflict of interest. And this pretension that Chinese wall between the two is an absolute nonsensical, non-effective way of dealing with it.
And everyone knows when you say there's a Chinese wall.
Exactly.
Not who's checking on that.
That's right. And the third issue that they face is that we've created this oligopoly of 4 names that they rotate. So they know that whatever they do, they'll be out, next year they'll be. So we need to change all of that. Regulations have to change, as UK is considered, that companies must be either audit companies or financial services. No linkages whatsoever.
Deloitte says not a good idea to split the advisory and
of course not. Deloitte is a major beneficiary of non-audit services globally. And so, like, of course, turkeys don't vote for Thanksgiving Day. What do you expect from them?
Let's talk about the regulators. One of the things that the Auditor General told my colleague Vuyo just now was that, you know, the Independent Regulatory Board of Auditors takes forever to sort out any complaints and cases. What can we do about that if the regulators are slow to act?
Well, again, we have to look at different layers of this problem. One is that the governing legislation is way out of sync with the complexities of the financial sector and the need for speedy response and resolution. That means having competent people at IRBA, not people who are half asleep, they don't know, they are not up to the task. And very importantly, we have to resource them. Their budget is not sufficient. And their excuse is that we haven't got the money to hire the right people to do this thing in time. There is a truth in that. So the Minister of Finance has to step in, because every week that the minister does not act, we're going to pay heavy cost, 900 million at a time. Tomorrow we can wake up and another few billion have gone.
Yeah.
So the Minister of Finance has got really an urgent responsibility to change the legislation, to populate IRBA with people who are not so sleepy and or not up to the task, and resource it to match the requirement of the time.
We're seeing the public sector acting through the Auditor General. What's the private sector doing about holding this industry to account?
So up to now, nothing, with the exception of 1 or 2 companies, Standard Bank, Old Mutual, Investec, Johannesburg Stock Exchange, Goldfield. These corporates have gone to absolute silence. By inaction, they are promoting this type of unethical conduct. They got to do exactly what Auditor General's office has done. Sack them, say, get your house in order, we'll talk again.
All right, we'll leave it there. Thanks for your time. Today, CEO of Pan-African Capital Holdings, Iraj Abedian.